Everything's starting to take off and get on fire with Star Wars now. Ever since Star Wars Celebration was, God, was that last weekend? Things have been flying by lately. There was a lot of the meetings, press interviews and things like that were going on. And one of the things that I've seen a lot of people, it's come up several times, is about Kathleen Kennedy and talking about Solo and just kind of saying, like, I haven't read the exact interview, so I don't know the exact quotes, and I can look more into that, but like saying that basically Solo failed because of they decided to try doing 2 movies a year. And that's really great. That's great. Yay! That's why Solo failed because they tried to release 2 movies in a year. That's why it failed. No, and I've talked about this before. Solo didn't fail because they tried to do 2 Star Wars movies in a year. Solo failed because it cost you a lot more money to go out and fire the directors that you had and bring in a new director that probably cost more and finish the movie. And had to just you completely had to start production not necessarily all over again, but you had to go through and redo a lot. It was a stupid move. It was a stupid decision, just like the decision with all the things with James Gunn. It was another stupid decision that cost money. Do your research, people. And this is Disney I'm talking to here. Do your research. Did you not research who these directors were before you hired them to do this movie? Did you not know what movie they were going to make? Why did you just fire them in the middle of production? You should have let them make the movie they were going to make and release it, and if it didn't do as good, it didn't do as good. Boo-hoo. But instead, you scrap it, you go and you hire another director, you spend more money doing that, and then you go out, and it was basically a shit shoot. People just automatically were turned away from it. And it's the same thing, this happened with the Ant-Man movie. Some people have that feeling towards the Ant-Man movie, especially Edgar Wright, I'm sure. But the thing is it's once again something that happened. The James Gunn thing, basically Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is now pushed back in production because they had a knee-jerk reaction to some dumb stuff that happened, okay? And it was over, it wasn't over dumb reasons, but it was over things that they should just not have completely reacted to without thinking things through. Part of the knee-jerk reaction of things that are wrong with our society these days. And I've talked about this before. It's absolutely ridiculous. Doing 2 Star Wars movies in 1 year is not why Solo failed. Solo failed because you spent far too much money making the movie, hiring directors, firing directors, hiring a new director, and you're still paying the old directors as producers anyway. They still used a lot of their stuff. You wasted money. That's why it was a failure. And by the time people heard that you fired directors and you hired somebody else, yay, we got Ron Howard, cool. Yeah, I like Ron Howard too, don't get me wrong. But you were wrong by should have just left the damn directors in there and let them do their thing. Cut your losses. Think about it before you, should have just came out with the movie. And in case you can't see, in case you've never watched a Phil Lord and Chris Miller movie, Disney, they make good movies. They're not complete, they're not blockbusters. They're not the best movies in the world. No. There's not a whole lot of directors out there who make best movies in the world. But you can clearly see the movie they came out and did afterwards, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It did really good. It was well received. Now, it wasn't quite like a blockbuster. It wasn't huge, but a lot of people, it was overall received well. A lot of people like it, and it's got rewatchability. It's just got good things about it. And, the same thing could have happened for Solo. It's not because there wasn't 2 films, because there was 2 Star Wars films in a year. It's because you wasted too much money trying to get this movie out on the screen. And by the time you did, nobody wanted to see it. Everybody was kind of fed up with it. That's why it wasn't successful. So, I don't know. That's just this, if you ask me. I could be wrong here, but that's an absolute joke. I'm sure there's some people out there who have probably got more than kind words to say about Kathleen Kennedy, But I mean, trying to say that scapegoat a second movie, Star Wars movie in the same year as why Solo failed, that's just absolutely not true. It was dumb mistakes and knee-jerk reactions that cost you money. It cost you viewership. It cost you a whole lot of things, and that's what you get. It's not because he tried to release 2 movies in the same year. I call bullshit. I call bullshit. Okay.